Hello, I'm Alastair McIntyre for electricscotland.com, and I'd like to tell you about our genealogy section on Electric Scotland. When we first started the site, we were all about the history of Scotland, but it was very clear as we started to put up more and more historical content that there were a lot of names mentioned in that content, and so by default we became a genealogy resource on the web. Since that day, we've actually decided to try and do a little bit more work on genealogy, and so some very fine genealogists have actually supplied us with articles, helpful advice on tracing your family roots and so forth. And about maybe 2 years ago, I think it was, we purchased a genealogy program, which is under its own domain now at www.scottgenealogy.com. When you go to our genealogy site, you'll find that link immediately under the title of the page. And if you click on that, you can apply for a free account. And having got an account, you can then build your own family tree. It's actually a very powerful program, and so not only can you put in your family tree information, you can put background notes, lists of cemeteries, pictures, all kinds of things. I would, however, say that if you are going to make use of that service, as I say, it is entirely free as a service to our visitors, but it will both import and export to a GEDCOM file. And we highly recommend that once you've added data to the site, that you actually export that to a GEDCOM file to keep a backup copy on your own computer. While we make every effort to make sure that the data is all backed up and everything, we can obviously have a catastrophic disaster somewhere and the data may be lost. So I do say that once you've got your information up, take the export function to export it to a GEDCOM file, and that will be downloaded to your own computer. It also means if you have information in any other family tree program, if you use that program to export it to a GEDCOM file, then of course when you come to our program, you'll be able to import that data in. There is a limit, I believe, of about 1 megabyte on the importation. But it's very easy to split a big file into sub-files, so you can still import the whole thing. Also on the site, we do produce an awful lot of links, because we're not about to duplicate everything that's going on in genealogy these days, but we believe the links we provide are to important links, ones that will give you a lot of information. We all know Cindy's list if you're particularly following your Scottish roots. I would say that if you're looking for example, trying to trace your Scottish Canadian roots, we have a visitor to the site who's actually produced, a hugely comprehensive list of sites that you can actually get information on the Scots Canadian site. It's just absolutely a huge section. In fact, it's so big we had to split it into several pages. So you'll find that type of thing. We've also listed maybe 2 genealogists on that page that we believe are particularly good. In fact, I used to complain about genealogists and that if you go to their site, they never really give you much of an idea of what you could get for your money. And so I think it was Tim of Scots Roots. He said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll build you a family tree from information you give me, and I'll give you an example of what we can do. And in effect, I think by memory, he charges about £175 for tracing your father, and if you pay $250, they'll also trace your mother's side. So I took both, and Tim basically went out and did his research, and he posted all of the information to me in notes and explaining each thing. But in addition to that, he invited me to join him at the General Registry Office in Scotland to show how he went about doing that research. And it became very clear to me very quickly that because he's been doing this almost all his life, He's extremely quick and intuitive. You know, if he can't find something one way, he's very intuitive of trying to find it out a different way. And so the results of looking for both my father's side and my mother's side are actually on the website, along with accompanying notes about, I mean, for example, my father's name was, to my name was always John Gilmore McIntyre, but when Tim searched, he couldn't find a John Gilmore McIntyre. But as he got deeper into the research, he suddenly found out that my father's mother's maiden name was Gilmore, and obviously when she died, he must have decided to incorporate Gilmore into his name. So it's these little things that of course catch you out in genealogy, but I thought it was really interesting, and you might like to read that note about how he went about his various searching. So there you have our genealogy section. I mean, it will take some time to explore all our own content on it, but also there's so many links that, well, we all know genealogy, once you're hooked into it, it's almost something you do for the rest of your life. I might just add that if you do have interesting historical stories of your family, feel free to send them in, because we have a big mini bios section on the site, and that's basically visitors like yourself that maybe can actually write down some of the history of your grandparents and some of the stories from the family and send it in as just a little article, and we can post that up on the site, and of course we can include your email address with that, so if anyone finds any connections they can email you. So there you have the genealogy section on Electric Scotland. I hope you'll make good use of it, make good use of our free program at scottgenealogy.com as well. Thank you.